Yo, Eric back with another standard deck featuring some cards from the latest Avatar The Last Airbender set. We'll be playing Magic Arena today, of course, doing some standard best of three with this Phoenix Fleet Airship list. This guy in the bottom right here. It's an artifact vehicle from the latest set, 4/4 flyer for 4, and it says at the beginning of your end step, if you sacrificed a permanent this turn, create a token that's a copy of this vehicle. As long as you control 8 or more permanents named Phoenix Fleet Airship, this vehicle is an artifact creature. So the idea is you quickly turbo this out, having sacked a permanent that turn, make 2 ships, and then the next turn make 4 ships. Sorry, have a total of 4 ships, and then the next turn have a total of 8 ships and swing for lethal on the following. Now that's a little magical Christmas land and a little slow, but the value alone of just generating these ships, along with a slew of dinky 1-power creatures that crew this vehicle, means we're kind of in a value town territory. Okay, what's the rest of the deck? We have 4 Callous Inspectors. This is from the latest set as well. 1/1 Menace. When it dies, deal 1 damage to you. Create a clue token. Nice. Greedy Freebooter and Novice Inspector. Just a slew of 1/1s for 1 or 1/2 1-power creatures that generate artifacts when they enter or die. Rotten Mouth Viper is another key piece in this deck where we're generating all these dinky guys and permanents on the field. Sack them all, play a fast Viper. Sweet. We're splashing white, right? So the other key to this puzzle here is we're on 4 Beseech the Mirror to make use of all of the tokens and all of the permanents and artifacts that we'll be generating. And Beseech the Mirror turbos out a fast Phoenix Fleet Airship. That's why this deck is called Beseech the Fleet, because you can do something like turn 1, say you go turn 1 Freebooter, turn 2 Terminus of Return, right? Or in this case, or the Soul Stone, whatever. And then sack the Soul Stone, Beseech the Mirror. You have a turn 3 Phoenix Fleet Airship that also makes a token. And there are a bunch of flex options here. So we're on 4 Beseech. We're playing 1 Day of Judgment in the main to sort of answer all these go-wide strategies that we're seeing over and over. And a couple other value pieces or emergency pulls like Beza. If we're really falling behind on board, we can Beza or wipe the board or what have you. A Caretaker's Talent. We generate a lot of tokens. This guy draws a lot of cards. And then a couple other interesting pieces from the new set. We're playing 1 Tolls of War. When this enchantment enters, create a clue token. Great. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent during your turn, create a 1/1 ally. Okay. Value City, kind of reminiscent of the old raid enchantment that made servos every turn, I believe. We're also on, sorry I'm moving around so much, 2 Obsessive Pursuit. When it enters and at the beginning of your upkeep, lose 1 life and create a clue. Once again, just hitting a critical mass of clues and artifacts and tokens for our Vipers and everything to sort of work together seamlessly. This also has the added text, whenever you attack, put X 1/1 counters on target attacking creature, where X is the number of permanents you sacrifice this turn. If X is 3 or greater, that creature gains lifelink until end of turn. So we don't have a dedicated sack outlet in this game, or in this deck. We're a bit more grindy and less focused on just outright sacking. However, Rotten Mouth Viper can just sack 5 permanents, right? So say you have one of your dinky Callous Inspectors on the field, and an Obsessive Pursuit, and a big board of artifacts. You play the Viper, sack all these artifacts, swing with your Menace 1/1 that just becomes like a 6/6 or bigger lifelinker, which can really just swing back games in your favor. 4 Fanatical Offering to smooth everything out. Sack an artifact or creature and makes a map token. Pretty relevant. And 1 Tithing Blade. Who knows? Maybe it'll come up. I think maybe you could argue we need more removal in the main, but I like the idea of this sort of 4 Beseech, 1 Day of Judgment to sort of fix all of that and wipe the board when we really need to. As far as our mana base goes, so we need to be able to cast our Beseech on turn 4, right? So we only have 1 non-black source in the deck, the single plains. Otherwise, we're playing 4 Godless Shrine, 4 Bleachbone Verge, 4 Fabled Passage. In this case, we're on Fabled Passage because I think it's kind of interesting with the Phoenix Fleet Airship. Any permanent you sacrifice triggers this, so it's just one more easy way to get the to grease the wheels in this case. And then we're also on 2 Realm of Co. Makes 1/1 spirits, enters untapped, and likely enters untapped, and the 1/1 spirits can crew the Phoenix Fleet Airship, or just be, close out the game, or be a nice sacrifice target. Okay, as far as our sideboard, 1 more Beza, 2 Grim Bauble for aggro matchups, Soul Guide Lantern for, all the graveyard stuff that's been running around. I've been seeing a little less graveyard lately, but it's still out there. 4 Duress for sort of our control matchups, answer counter spells, get some information, and one strategic betrayal, 1 malicious eclipse, 3 more Day of Judgments to sort of clean up those creature matchups. Okay, I'm pretty excited for this one. I've been testing this. I was like on mono black and it was bad. It did not have angles. I just was dinking around and playing stuff out and just would die basically because I'm not doing anything. Unless I had a really fast start, I'm not doing anything. And I wasn't answering the board well enough. So I think splashing white for these effects will help us not only grind better, but just survive to be able to actually get our Phoenix Fleet airships going. So we'll see. Let's check it out. Let's play some matches. Ooh. And if you're coming here and you watched some of my previous videos that I started posting, appreciate that. I'm really new to this, other than a video I posted like 6 years ago from Throne of Eldraine standard. So if you're checking me out in any capacity, shout out to you. Appreciate it. I'm going to try to keep posting every day. So let's see where this thing goes. Okay. Kind of a rough hand. If we had a black source, this would be pretty ideal. But let's go ahead and mulligan this. No mana. We're on 22 lands, interestingly enough. But we have all of these, little effects to help us sort of cycle through everything. I like this hand. Let's go ahead and... No, let's keep the freebooter. I think I want to keep this talent. It's the kind of card that gets us out of this situation. I think 1 Inspector makes sense too. Maybe we just go like this. We'll open, we'll find our 1 planes, and then go from there. Oh, Concealed Courtyard is also in standard, huh? Maybe I should be on that. Man, compared to the green-white decks I've been playing, black-white gets such good mana. Okay, that's a pretty good draw. Let's go ahead and play... Nah, we'll just wait. Let's just make use of the Caretaker's talent. And then the extra draw from Novice Inspector. Sacrifices their Gorehound. Their hand must they must be light on lands as well if they're doing this. Black-white scoops it up without seeing what we're even on. Okay. I'm gonna guess the Malicious Eclipse is pretty good. Are they fully scooping? Oh. Oh. Well, hey, we chalk that up as a 1-0, baby. Let's go. Deck's busted. Keep it rolling. Match number 2, technically match number 1. We did not play a real match, but we'll keep it rolling here. That's kind of sad. What compels someone in ranked to just fully scoop a match like that, other than maybe they forgot about some event that they have to attend today? I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They have an important gala they must prepare for. I like this hand. It's not bad. We can go turn 1 tapped Realm of Co, turn 2 untapped Godless Shrine Terminus, and hope for a turn 3. Well, I guess whatever we need. It's a little awkward having the Day of Judgment in hand. and only one white source, but I think this will play out okay, especially if we just see one other land here. Frenzied Baloth. Untapped Godless. Okay, Godless Shrine's a great draw. Let's go on the Terminus. If we need to wipe the board here, we can next turn. Otherwise, I think we just... Maybe we just play out an airship and let them commit more to the board. We gotta wipe this board, right? Oh, actually, Baze is pretty good. I think Baze is a great answer here. And then it makes them commit their... makes them commit the Ouroborroid if they want to, like, beat this. Which our board wipe is obviously an incredible answer to, so... Plus Beza with the Viper, kind of neat. Making some dinkers to sacrifice. Y'all seeing what I'm seeing? Check it. I think we go Obsessive Pursuit. Is this crazy? Or this is the whole point of the deck, right? Play an Inspector. Play a Viper. Sacrificing 5 permanents. Swing with a big life-linking Beza. Okay. Yes, yes. It's working out exactly as planned. The Void. We expected this. We accounted for this. Still not bigger than my Viper. And if I just wipe the board, I'm doing pretty okay. So I think I just attack and wipe the board. They have to... I guess we can see what they sacrifice off of this. Or can I somehow get more ways to sacrifice things for this Obsessive Pursuit to trigger the lifelink? I feel like it might be a little hasty for me to... Man, there's so many options with Beseech. Like, if we had... We should have just one source of single target removal in here, probably. Let's just go ahead and swing with both of these. They have to make some choices with the Viper here. For those that aren't familiar, you may read. Basically, you know, it's one of those force a decision cards, but the way it stacks up these counters is it you know, really snowballs out of control. And eventually they just die. Worst comes to worst, we can wipe the board. I'd rather not here, but... They're taking 6. Okay. Do I have a sneaky 1 damage in the deck? I don't think so. Do they even have lethal? I think so. Let's just wipe the board. I'm gonna show them. Do I show them the combo? Nah. I'm not gonna show them the combo. I think we can clean up this game with our 1-1, our 1-2 Novice Inspector and our 1-1 Menace. I'm sure they would like to see it though. Nice. Obsessive Pursuit. This card is nasty. It really reminds me of Prophet's Eidetic Memory, but maybe a little more fixed, but also in some ways a little busted too. Bring in the Day of Judgments. Let's bring in a Beza. Bring in some removal here. I really got to get one piece of just targeted removal in here, huh? just for those sorts of scenarios. Let's probably cut some offerings. Tolls of War seems okay. Probably cut a Tithing Blade. We're really just going to be leaning on these Day of Judgments, I think. You can go down an Airship, down a Viper. Down a land, since we're on the draw. 21, is that a little crazy? 21 might be a little crazy in this deck. Go down one more offering. They're not really like removing our stuff. I think we have... Our main game plan is just to wipe the board, right? Kind of all you need to do against these decks. Okay. I like this. It's got double white for our board wipes. It's got the Pursuit. It's got a little freebooter action, so maybe we ramp into our board wipes or Beza or what have you. Beseech the Mirror. Yeah, this hand kind of has it all. We just need to draw lands. Let's go ahead and get this going. I think I'm going to block just to kill off my freebooter, hit my treasure, and I'll just throw a board wipe out here. With everything else I have going on, I can't afford to just like take this and not do something next turn. They kill my thing. That's not a big deal. Take another one. Unfortunately, we really just need a land. Okay. I think I'm just gonna Beza here. We have an extra one. Gains us life. Lets us block the Surak. And maybe baits out a Boyd. Damn, this deck is cool. It was kind of cool mono black, but it's way cooler with the white splash. It like really changes the feel of it. Just gonna block. They have okay, I should have played around Royal Treatment. Whatever, man. Day of Judgment. Not a bad draw. We don't have any lands that come in tapped at this point, so we can afford to just hold up the clue and pretend maybe we have some kind of removal. Although if we draw a Godless Shrine, I think we'd rather just play it tapped here. Let's just go ahead and crack the clue. Am I a genie? Am I a psychic? Am I a freaking mind reader? Do I have ESP? Can I see the future? What the hell? Keen-eyed Curator. We're not really. They might think we're like a graveyard-oriented deck, but we are not at all. I think we just double block. We're gonna wipe the board anyway. Maybe they have some way to give indestructible, but they probably don't have a way to give indestructible to everything, right? I think we're doing okay. Gotta go for it. Save the Surak. Hit me for 8. Kill my clue. I'm doing great. Okay. Kill my clue, huh? Paw Patch Recruit. Good follow-up. You know what is a great follow-up to Paw Patch Recruit? Beza. Yeah, let's play the freebooter. We're getting into Beseech range. Let's maybe get that Phoenix Fleet Airship going, huh? Kill off one of these tokens. Okay, and we can hold the Fabled Passage to trigger it next turn. Send it. Might as well play it this turn, I suppose. Can you beat the fleet? Can you beat the fleet? Don't think you can beat the fleet with a Day of Judgment backup. I'm just gonna block with Beza and a fish and learn my lesson from last time. Actually, let's block with the freebooter. Learn my lesson from last time. Yep. Okay. You can maybe make the argument that you want to block with the airship there, but I like the idea of going for it. And we have all the permanents we need to sacrifice to get our big fleet online, so you know we're going to do it. Let's go ahead and just sack this for our, I don't know, planes, I suppose. Doesn't really matter. And pass a Rooney. Okay. They didn't let us do it, but but we had it. We had the big fleet going. All right, kind of sweet there, huh? Like a cool finisher. A cool, I mean, sort of unbeatable way to end the game unless you have like Ultima. Sweet. 2-0. The first one doesn't count, but the Day of Judgments and everything, that adjustment looked really good. I'm kind of happy where we arrived, where we landed with this version today. Wow. Kind of a sweet deck. Kind of a sweet deck. Beseech control? Would you call it a control deck or a mid-range deck? I don't know. Kind of loose, right? Because, like, in other creature matchups, we're definitely the control. We're playing so many board wipes and sort of like card advantage cards. This is a good hand. What did I say, gang? Like, what did I say? The ladder is just so full of this deck. It's just so full of this deck. Play board wipes. Play board wipes. They're going to be able to slow me down a little bit, turn off the Terminus. But we have the Doge in hand. Hopefully we just draw another land in the next couple turns. Callous Inspector is pretty sweet too. I don't think anyone's really talked about the implication of this and like how you've sort of gained a critical mass of these kinds of effects now in Standard. Before it was really just the freebooter. But now you have access, like if you're in black-white, to 12 of these cards that are like a little body with an artifact attached. I guess we just block now. Not sure that it super matters. I'm going to wipe the board eventually anyway. Let's get the pursuit going. And pass and wipe the board next turn. And then we can maybe start swinging in with our Callous Inspector, or we're setting ourselves up for a big worm. Worm? Viper? Snake. A big snake. This Beast Binder's getting big, though. Kind of scary. It almost makes me want to play a second Day of Judgment in the main. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Well, we don't have a choice. We Day of Judgment here. Hope they don't have, like, Paw Patch Recruit to follow this all up. Big Gene Pollinator. Probably a land in hand. We can go... I think we go Beseech for... We want just the flagship here, actually. I think we go Beseech for a flagship. Start getting our permanent count pretty high. Gives us something to crew, kind of go over top of everything, and then we're setting up for a huge, like, Obsessive Pursuit Viper turn next turn. Kind of get our life total back into it. And now we have infinite chumps, basically. The Boyd. They have a big board, but they're not going to be able to beat the Flyers, ultimately, I think. Their board is ginormous. Let's give up the Inspector this turn. No, let's just give up an airship. As much as I'd like to keep making these, I think having the Inspector body is more important here to be able to, like, crew the future airships. Okay, so we are actually kind of close to Terminus being online, but it's not that relevant in our deck. So let's just kill off the Terminus. Actually, we can also just make, like, sack the clues natty. Let's sack a clue. Another Viper. Okay. Let's play. Look, use this black. Sack, 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 sack. And then pay 2. I guess I might as well draw another card. Am I doing all this math right? Maybe. I'm gonna have to hold back blockers, huh? I have to block twice. Kind of a tough spot, actually. Sacrificed 4 permanents, and then I can sacrifice some amount more. I'm actually almost just presenting like a lethal attack here, huh? Is this crazy? Oh, no, I need that. Okay. Let's just pass here. Because I need to be able to block with these airships. And then I think I'm kind of setting up for lethal next turn. Beastbinder. Not irrelevant, but not super relevant. My gut says block with an Inspector and block with a ship here. No trample. Hold the clue. Novice Inspector is a good draw. So now we crew up the ship. We sacrifice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 permanents. I guess once again we can like sack a clue raw. Verge. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Play a Viper. Problem is, actually, they have these. These talents they can sack. So I think they're gonna live here, unfortunately. But man, we put up a bit of a fight. If we had another board wipe in the main, I think it would have solved this issue. But we put up a fight. Did some cool stuff. Okay. Nice try, nice try. Bring in the board wipes, bring in the Beza, bring in the bobble. Board wipes, Beza, bobble. Cut the tithing blade. Cut. Probably only need like one airship. Let's go down one. Cut some offerings. It's the run back, so theoretically I would just board exactly the same way that I did last time, but don't remember what I did last time. I think it was something like that. Run it like that. Deck still looked cool. Almost got there. I feel like there might be some people like yelling at their screen right now saying like, dig more with the clues or something along those lines. I just kind of YOLO'd it. This is a really fast Viper hand, I think. We go fetch, Inspector, Booter, Viper. It's kind of nasty. Or we can play it slow and wipe the board and then Viper. Dragon Sniper. I like that card. Bit underrated, I think. Godless Shrine is a good draw. Maybe I'm supposed to shock the Godless Shrine and play 2 Inspectors there. But I think this is just fine as well. Let's shock. Do we go for the Viper right yet? Let's just play an Inspector and start sacking these clues. The Viper looks good, except they have this sniper here. And I think I'd rather just clear the board, to be honest. I know the board wipe's a little weird with our light creature board also, but it should all play out okay. Board wipe looking pretty good. Attack me. Nice. Nice. I guess I swing here. Why not? I mean, it's obvious, but they don't know what I'm playing. Fair enough. Phoenix Fleet Airship. It's not bad. Sure, I think we can support that. Let's shock, save our treasure for the airship. Just wipe the board. What you gotta do against these decks. Beast Binder. Well, you can't really bind my airship that well. So let's just do that. Play the Inspector, which blocks the Beast Binder. One other thing too, you can sack the airship tokens to, you know, the Viper in a pinch. This really does generate a lot of game pieces on a long enough timeline. Okay, I'm going to take this opportunity to show you an interaction. So if you crew in response to the Beastbinder targeting your vehicle, it becomes a 2/2, right, this turn. But then it just goes back to being a piece of cardboard next turn. I don't think we Day of Judgment quite yet. I think we can afford to play this Inspector. Viper this out. Do you just crew and force them to, like, maybe we don't even have to play the Viper this turn. Maybe I just attack them and and make a clue or sack a clue. Like, they still have to answer these airships, you know? Airship looking kind of good. I mean, it's very grindy. It's a very grindy card. They target the Inspector. I think that's probably a bad idea. Targeting a clue doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me here. So we can just play a Viper. I'll give up I'll crew an airship. Save the point of life on myself. Play a Viper. Hold up some blockers. Make a conservative swing and then present lethal next turn, pretty much. There's not really a world in which they... Okay. There's not really a world in which they, like, turbo out a lethal attack on me next turn, I think. This could be like a Flood Pits Drowner, I guess. But I don't think that's enough to... The Librarian. Draw a card. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that's enough. Make some airship. Just make a couple of airships. You know what would kind of go hard? Elspeth. Elspeth would kind of go hard here. Even if it's just like a one of. Targeting a clue. Targeting a Viper. He's targeting a Viper, people. Got a little rat on the field. Rat more like mongoose. Targeting my Viper. Just take it. Although, if I just wipe the board, if I just like block and wipe the board, find something to sacrifice, I don't think they're winning this game. Also, I mean, I have this clue to sacrifice soon. I just have Day of Judgments. Maybe they let me swing with an airship, like hit him with an airship. Oh, I do have a clue to sacrifice. Okay, sweet. I'm just gonna wipe the board. No reason to like play this silly and lose, right? Oh, dude, could have played the freebooter first, made a treasure, gotten the fleet online. Okay. Could have been fun. Let's go. Gotta play those board wipes, gang. Let's bring in an eclipse on the draw. Could be just what the doctor ordered. Take out a Tolls of War. We haven't seen the Tolls of War. I kind of want to see that go. Take out an airship. Airship, my beloved. My beloved. It's been fun. It's been cool. Has it been powerful? Kind of. I mean, we've only seen it really against this deck, and I kind of, sideboarded, or built the sideboard and included the board wipes with this deck in mind to beat this deck specifically. So I'd like to see how it performs against a few other matchups, but happy to see it doing well here. Got a mulligan this, no black mana. It's not bad. It's slow. If they have like a really out of the gates start, we could be in trouble, but okay. Beseech cleans this up really nicely. This gives us the option of the turn 4 board wipe here, so not feeling bad at all. They could turn 3 Ouroboros and get me quite quickly here. I think the Novice Inspector keeps them off of that, though. Let's do some quick math, actually, which I'm not usually that fond of doing, but let's say they have the Ouroboros. They go land Ouroboros, right? Then they're presenting 4 plus 3 damage, 7, untap, and then definitely like present a lethal attack. I think it makes more sense to just play the Inspector, hold the Pursuit, and preserve our life total here. And then if they don't have the Ouroboros, we can maybe at least like chump or like block a little bit here. But if they do have it, I think this might save us enough life. Yeah, they have to have their Sanctum and their Pollinator to play it. They have the Cub. They're holding up maybe like a... They're holding up a Spell Pierce, perhaps, which is quite good here. A little punished, actually, maybe, for not playing the Pursuit and drawing this Viper. 1, 2, 2, it's neutral. We have... a million damage coming at me next turn. Boy, I'm just dead to this, aren't I? Four, 8, 13, 17, and I can only block one thing? Jeez Louise, I guess we need to draw into a blocker here. Wow, this deck is a little messed up, huh? A little messed up. A little messed up. Wait. Did they just mess up? I mean, they have to have a Spell Pierce, right? I'm I messed up perhaps by sacrificing the clue. Now, in retrospect, with them giving me another turn, I don't have a way to Beseech, but if I just draw a white source... No. Kind of like a weird, sad game. We were super dead anyway, but... I don't know. Man, they just get on the board so quickly, you know? Okay, let's keep it rolling. Match 4? Technically, this is match 4. Really, it's like match 3, but hopping into match 3. Flappo 328. Let's hope that they're on something different this time and not another blue-green mid-range deck. Well, what I like about this hand is it has lands. I'm going to keep it. Okay, that's maybe a few too many Beseeches for my blood. Let's just lead on a swamp. We want to hold the Fabled Passage in case we draw and play turn 4 Warship. Warfleet? Fleet? Whatever it's called. Inspector is a good draw. Play the Inspector. They just keep flooding the board. We're looking kind of okay. Roaring Furnace, my Inspector. Okay. Kind of funny, kind of silly with it. They're stuck on lands. Play out another Inspector. Oh, snap. Gang. Inspector Tribal. I didn't even see the parallel here. Okay. They are just going all in on killing my stuff, huh? That's fine. We gotta wipe this board. We're dying. Caretaker's Talent. Interesting. Actually, Beza's just better here, isn't it? Yeah. And this sets up our Vipers or Talent. Nice. Nice. And they have nothing? They have absolutely nothing? You fool? You buffoon? Realm of Co. Popping off. Okay, now hold on. Do we just Viper them? No. It'd be kind of funny though. Alright, I'm feeling pretty good here. Feeling pretty good. Torch does not do really hardly anything against us. Beza from downtown was pretty sweet. Let's go ahead, sack these 3 fish. Play out the Viper. Or we just Beseech for an airship here. And then draw off the talent. Or what else do we have in our deck? I don't really want to give up the Beza, I think. I think it blocks too nicely. Let's just Beseech. Ooh, Bowls of War. No, let's get the airship going. I don't think they can beat this. Looking pretty good. I'm liking the one of Caretaker's Talent here. I don't know what you think about it. I think it's kind of sweet that it now gives this like guaranteed draw every turn sort of effect here. A torch, a fish. My fish, it's torched. Obsessive Pursuit, kind of a sweet draw. Another sweet card with the Caretaker's Talent. Nice. Beza in the main. Beza in the main looked really good there. Let's bring in just one more board wipe and bring in the Duresses. This sort of deck relies on a critical mass of spells in their hand to really be effective, I think. Take out the Tithing Blade. Tithing Blade has been looking a little weird, maybe. A little less good. Maybe it'd be just better to have one piece of targeted removal. Cut some offerings. Let's cut a couple airships and a couple vipers, I think. We're not that reliant on this. It's really more important to just like stabilize. And there's not a world, I think, in which we outrace them. We just have to survive, essentially, you know. Sweet deck. Sweet deck. Getting out of my comfort zone a little. Playing more of a black-based deck. I've been playing for a long time, but really, I don't think I've ever like owned or sleeved up like a mono black deck, or even like a heavily leaning in black deck. I mean, I play like green black shells, but this is really like mono black almost, you know. Obviously it's not, but not my typical style, let's say. I'm mostly on creature decks and what have you. Let's get this going. Start building up our critical mass here. But it's cool. It's got a lot of angles. Beza's been very strong. Astrologian's Planisphere. I think we just play an Inspector and plan to sack a clue. Torching my Inspector. Okay. We have to wipe the board next turn or play a Beza. I think Beza's probably better if we suspect that they're on like Spell Pierce. If they're on like Disdainful Stroke, you know, we're not in a great position either way. They could be representing Tishana's Tidebinder, which at the very least would eat our Beza trigger. I think it's more likely that they're playing something like Spell Pierce. Get Out. Oh, right. They've been playing Get Out lately. Okay, I'm dead. Oh, it's so hard to predict what anyone's on right now with the recent bannings and the new set coming out. I think we just run it back. Get Out. I wonder if they also had like a Disdainful Stroke or something like that. Something to that effect that would have just dealt with a Beseech anyway, you know. It looked a little clunky there. They had a great start. Double Planisphere. Run it back on the play. Game 3. Call it match 3. Alright, I like this. We'll lead on the passage. Maybe you're supposed to duress him right away, but it'll be okay. Then we'll grab a swamp. Maybe, okay. Not punished. Not punished at all. Duress them. Stock ups, Disdainful Stroke, Roaring Furnace, Detect Intrusion. Let's just take them off the Planisphere. It really slows them down. Oh, did I hit the furnace? Oops. Did not mean to do that. Did not mean to do that. Let's play the Pursuit. And a tapped Godless Shrine. Keep our life total decently high. And then if they tap out for stock up, I think we just play a Beza and gain some life. Nope. Okay. They're not really doing anything, and we get to just draw 2 cards here. Storm Chaser talent. Show me stock up. Nope. I'm going to, I suppose, just eat the Disdainful Stroke here. Make him use it sooner or later, you know? The Detect Intrusion's kind of tough. I kind of wish we didn't flub on that, hadn't flubbed on that Duress in retrospect, but as long as we draw some lands here, I think we'll be okay. Okay. Let's go ahead. Let's cast the Airship. Why not? We don't really have anything else going on. We're not going to be able to trigger it right now, but no reason to just Beseech into the Detect Intrusion this turn. And this blocks really nicely. Another stock up. Counters triggered abilities, so can keep us off of an airship. I think I'd like to force them to deal with this rather than Tidebinder. Okay. That's not the end of the world. We just get to board wipe. I think I like the board wipe here. Or Beseech? I really wish we had a Viper right now. That would go crazy with the Obsessive Pursuit. I think we just board wipe. And then play the Inspector. And I think we can afford to swing for 4 here. I have not sacrificed any permanents quite yet, unfortunately. Maybe you could argue with Obsessive Pursuit in the deck, there's a reason to have like a dedicated sacrifice outlet. Like the 2-mana legendary guy or Phantom Train or something like that. They're tapping out again. Well, we at least get to like draw a card and think about our options here. And just wipe the board again, I guess. Looks pretty good. Might as well attack. Make a couple guys, and hopefully start swinging here soon. A lot of options, a lot of choices. Kind of tough to really settle on just one plan. I'd love to swing. I'd love to draw like a duress to sort of clear all doubt here. They just keep putting things on the board. Ral. Crackling Wit. I guess I maybe could just play to the Fleet Airship plan. If they tap out for a Ral here. Oh no, okay, they're holding up Detect Intrusion. So maybe I just counter a triggered ability. They can counter the Obsessive Pursuit trigger. That's kind of annoying. Let's just start drawing some cards. And if they choose if they decide they want to counter the Obsessive Pursuit trigger, I think that's kind of fine. I don't think I lose to that necessarily. You know what I mean? Then I get to guarantee a Beseech next turn. I also kind of doubt I'm dead on the backswing. I could be wrong. I see what you have. I could be wrong. Play rail, draw. I didn't do the math, I'll be honest. Maybe I'm just dead on the backswing here. Play rail, draw 3. This goes up to a 4 power creature and 2 power with a talent. And then they just need to cast one more spell. Oh, no, they get to draw the cards and kill me off of my Obsessive Pursuit. Okay. I'll take the blame for this loss here. I think that early duress snowballed into giving them way too many options to keep me at bay. Accidentally taking that furnace, which really didn't do anything against me here. Kind of snowballed into this loss, I think. Dang. We looked pretty good, I thought. Oops. You know, what more can you say? Let's play a couple more. Let's round it out. Let's see if we can get a couple more wins here. I think the deck looks pretty good overall, and maybe has some room for tuning. Let's think about cutting this one Tithing Blade and maybe go for like a Get Lost. Just a very flexible deal with your thing. Tolls of War I have not yet cast, but I'd like to see it in action. Run it back. We can still save the 3-2. Get a couple wins here. Smoke DMT. Yes, our fierce opponent, Smoke DMT. This hand looks good. We have our fast Beseech if we draw another land. Fanatical Offerings maybe not particularly important anymore. Let's not risk it. Let's lead on this. Voice of Victory. I think Fanatical Offering should look good on paper, but maybe it's just like we have so many other ways to make tokens now and make stuff now that it's not particularly necessary. Mono white tokens. Mono white tokens. I'll show you some tokens, Buster. Let's just go for it. Let's get involved. Send it. Would be kind of nice to have that fabled passage in retrospect, but I think we're gonna have to get lost to this caretaker's talent, huh? Not a bad draw. Not a great draw. Let's sacrifice our token airship. Keep that rolling. We'll get lost the talent. Set up for our Viper. Hope we maybe find a board wipe here. Oh no, real cards. Oh god. I think I'm dead, y'all. I can crew up the airship and map it, and then I just lose on the backswing. Oh, creatures enter tapped. Creatures enter tapped. Creatures enter tapped. Okay. Let's bring in a Beza. Let's bring in 1 Day of Judgment. I think what we really want here is just Duress. Seems quite good for answering their otherwise pretty tough to answer guys here. Strategic Betrayal might not be bad. It could line up nicely against the sheep as well as Malicious Eclipse here, so let's go down. Go down on the offerings again, just not sold on them. Go down. I think Airship is a good way to win this matchup unless they have Ultimas in their deck, which they very well might, although it's a little awkward with their own sheep. I think the Viper looks decent. Everything else looks pretty good. Let's go down a couple Callous Inspectors. I don't think they're that likely to like swing in very effectively for our Obsessive Pursuit sort of plan B. Not positive on this matchup. This looks like a pretty good hand though. They'll line up very nicely if they tap out for a sheep and what have you. I think let's just lead on the Fabled Passage. Consoles doesn't matter too much here. We might regret it, but I'm gonna go. No, let's just find a plains. Let's not be silly here. Rest. Okay. Rest in Peace is fine. A little annoying for our dinkers, but I'd really rather not play against this talent, right? Rotten Mouth Viper. Oh boy. If they go Let's say they go rest in peace, and I get to go get lost my Callous Inspector in response, and then Viper them on the next turn. They don't really have a great answer to that, actually. At least as far as I can tell. Builder's Talent. I think I'm still just going to do it. I like it because it lets me kind of sneak under this rest in peace pretty effectively. And now we get to like save the clue, which I think is relevant. Don't think we want the terminus. Thank you. Okay, if they don't have an answer to this now, this could spiral out of control. I think we played this to the best of our ability, so it's in the Lord's hands now. You know, sometimes you just gotta put one out there. To whichever Lord you ascribe to, I suppose. I'm swinging in with the Big Daddy Snake. And I'm loving every minute of it. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Rest in peace not looking very good for you here, huh? Soon you are going to run out of cards, my friend. Nice. You want to go to game 3? Shall we take it to game 3? They're kind of crazy for not just reanimating their Caretaker's talent there, right? What was that? I guess we just play the Beza. Now that they've removed the authority, so that we have a nice blocker here. Did you draw removal for the snake? No. Carrot cake? Oh. Okay, they can block the snake now, which is kind of nice for them. But this strategic betrayal might line up nicely here now. And we can actually activate our terminus of return, which is interesting. Oh, actually they could sack the carrot cake now and block with everything to kill the snake, which is kind of interesting, but they don't really have enough resources, I think, to do that. Feeling good. Love to see that they're on rest in peace. I don't think there's really anything I want to change here. They probably will realize rest in peace is not very good against us. It's okay. We played around it pretty effectively there, and On to game 3. On to game 3. On the draw. Great hand. Great hand. Mostly good hand. Mostly good hand. We'll see what they've got going on here. We can afford to... Let's just play this tapped. We can afford to hold up this Fabled Passage to go alongside our Phoenix Fleet Airship on turn 4. Okay. Play the Booter. Booter McDooter. Maybe I just block with the freebooter here. Get the airship going like as soon as possible if they decide to swing. No, they don't swing. Probably wise. Just keep going. Would be nice to draw some action instead of lands, but can't complain too much quite yet. See, this whole thing is not going to be very good against us, and there's no way they're on Ultima with this kind of board, huh? Let's play the passage and get our airship going. Looking kind of sweet. Looking really sweet. I mean, that interaction alone, right? Just like a fetch into 2 very efficient vehicles, some of the most efficient vehicles ever printed standalone, is really, really nice. And the fact that it just has the opportunity to spiral into an actual like way to close out the game, which vehicles sometimes have a hard time doing. But the fact that these can close out the game without relying on a board, meaning you can play board wipes, I think it all kind of fits in nicely together. Carrot Cake is an interesting idea for this deck too. Just more permanence to Viper, you know. Might be better than the Fanatical Search, the instant that sacks an artifact to make maps. Carrot Cake might just be better. Would be an interesting idea. Lean more into the Caretaker's Talent sort of stuff. Ooh, Tolls of War. Okay. I think I'm just gonna do that. I don't think I need to like force the issue here. I think we threaten Elspeth kind of nicely. I'm gonna guess they have like a Get Lost in hand that they're holding up. Tolls of War, nice little combination here. Our guys, they have a Disenchant and they're hitting my Tolls of War. Interesting. Another Fabled Passage is nice. Well, we might as well swing. I don't think they can like present a lethal attack here anytime soon. Split up? Okay. We'll leave a Novice Inspector, that's fine. Since they're on board wipes, I actually don't think we want to like go all in on this, like make these creatures plan. So I'm going to use them to, I'm going to use the Viper to curb the amount of airships that we have. Okay, well they scoop. So that we can just keep a field of, a 0% mythic, a field of airships going without having to worry about the airships themselves being susceptible to like split up or Day of Judgment. All right, 2 and 2, final match for all the marbles. For all the marbles. 1 and 1 against the blue-green go wide deck. We beat Mono white tokens, which has not been particularly meta in a long time, and we lost to otters. The otters ranched us pretty handily. This is a good hand. It has kind of everything I want. I think I always want an Obsessive Pursuit in my opener, just because it plays so nicely with this Viper. We get to lead on the freebooter. Oh, the only unfortunate thing here is this Realm of Co comes in tapped, which I only thought about after the fact. So probably would have been arguably better to just lead on the tapped land and get a pursuit down. My bad, y'all. My bad, y'all. With this hand, let's get the pursuit going, I think. Torch my booter. Yup. Internight Stories makes sense with the seal. Seems very good with the seal. This was a card I bought a box of this set and opened a couple of these guys, and I was like, yeah, I think were I to play this card, Winter Night Story seems like kind of the mandatory include here. I guess we get our offering going. Try to hit our third land. Nice. Play an Inspector. Looking pretty good. We're actually kind of setting up for a nice like lifelink turn. If we delay this Viper one turn and play out the rest of our Dinkers, we can swing in with a big lifelinking Inspector. Or not. Duelist of the Mind. Maybe we just wipe the board here if we draw a white source. Nope. Okay, I think you could probably argue that we can't afford not to swing with a Viper, or not to play a Viper here for blocks. It's a little tough, but if they have like, if they have an answer to like another torch, right? And we go to swing and we attempt to put counters on on a small creature and they just kill it, and we're pretty much dead in the water. So I'd rather be able to swing with a Viper and put counters on that. It requires a little more setup here to get the life gain though, but at least the Viper blocks nicely as well. Wonder if Sephiroth has a place in this deck at all, just for more consistent sacrifice. You're drawing cards, drawing a lot of them. Bounce my Viper, which is actually fine in a way. Oh no, I have to block. I have to block, so this is not fine. Turns out it was not okay. I'm pretty much just dead to the duelist here, right? Yeah. Dang. Kind of dirtily. Kind of died to interaction a little bit, huh? Seals are kind of big. Let's just bring in the Day of Judgment. Let's bring in one Day of Judgment, one Strategic Betrayal. Let's bring in Duresses. And maybe a couple Soul Guide Lanterns. And a Beza? Is this too much? Is this overboarding? Maybe go down a couple Duresses. Got some offerings. Not in love with them. Cut a couple airships. They seem good, but I think we can kind of rely on our Beseech here. Maybe cut a couple inspectors. They're a little painful. These red-blue tempo matchups seem kind of tough. Solid hand. At least we have lands. Let's lead on the duress here. Keep them off of Otter talent if they have that. Disdainful Stroke, Boomerang Basics. We'll just get rid of the Disdainful Stroke. Couple of Tiger Seals. They're a little dressed up with nowhere to go, I think. I guess they have the FOMOs to enable them, but... Play out our guys, and then if they decide to attack, we'll block with a freebooter and get the airship out. And then continue to enhance that with this clue token, although now we pass. Tiger Seal, huh? It is a 1-mana 3/3. It is a 1-mana 3/3, and you know, these days every card draws a card, so it's not really hard to activate at all. Bounce my guy. Okay. We're gonna play Beza next turn. We can keep this around for extra blocks later. We might as well draw on right now. Maybe we hit a board wipe and decide to do that instead. No. Let's just play the Beza. Beza kind of holding everything together for us here. Setting up a nice board wipe. Okay. Maybe we just get some ships going. Lock in the air. Okay, feeling pretty good. Here you go. Internight Stories, nice. They tapped a little weird. I'm kind of surprised they decided to leave. Yep. Okay. For all the marbles. Match 5, game 3. Deciding match to decide whether we go 2 and 3 or 3 and 2. Day of Judgment looked really nice in that game. Strategic Betrayals. Maybe we go down 1 lantern. Although if they're trying to do like, we just saw Fear of Missing Out. If they're trying to do delirium stuff, maybe it makes sense to keep the lanterns. I think we want 1 more Doge on the draw, and we take out the other Fanatical Offering. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Ooh. Final match. And then I go eat some lunch. What do we think of this hand? Clunky. Clunky, that's what I think. Duress is nice, but how do we get off the ground otherwise? We just have to hope and pray we hit another white source and kind of lock everything up? Whatever. I kind of like it. You could probably make the argument that this is not a great keep, but okay. Now give us a white source. Be a good lad. Let's just take the Winter Night Stories. The torch does not do anything against us. Okay. Not a white source, per se. In fact, almost the opposite. Boomerang Basics has seemed interesting. It's really doing a bit of a this town impression. That's not bad. In fact, worst comes to worst, we can beseech our talent for a board wipe. Oh, they're drawing cards. Well, what was I supposed to do, you know? Take the torch? Who cares? They have Delirium. They have another Boomerang Basics. So they're hitting me for 11? Ooh. Tough. I think I'd rather play a Beza here than have to board wipe. Ugh. Oh, I can just search for a Beza. That make more sense? No. I should wipe the board. You hate to do it this way, but I think the writing's on the wall, folks. Like Concealed Courtyard. Why don't we get on for Concealed Courtyard before we mess with any of this other like utility stuff? Nice to play your spells, isn't it? Hey, if we draw a white source here and we just go board wipe, Beza or whatever, you know. Okay, well, GG's, fun deck, good run. Let's make a couple tweaks and then wrap it up. And then maybe we'll try this again in another video. I'm curious to make this work. I'm really interested in making this work. I think it was doing some powerful stuff. Open a little fun pack for fun. It was doing some powerful stuff. Let's talk about what I would change, I think I would go down 2 airships. Go down the fanatical offerings. I think I would, personally, am I crazy to think like 4 obsessive pursuits is right? And then maybe shore it up with like Caretaker's Talent. Is this 2 in the sauce? I guess some way to sack these guys makes sense, but we have the Viper. I like the Get Lost main. Let's keep it at 2 pursuits. The Terminus looked pretty good in most of these matches. I like the idea of another Caretaker's Talent or 2, even. Maybe we play another Get Lost, just for more longevity, flexibility. Get Lost in your own stuff is nice. And then what I really want, I think, is some carrot cakes. Is that weird? Makes a lot of permanence, keeps you in the game for longer, helps you dig. Easy Beseech target. Tolls of War actually looked really nice when we drew it that one time, so maybe we try out a couple of Tolls of War as well. And then what do we think about this weenie package now, in retrospect? Let's go down an Inspector. I know it looks a little random at this point. It is a little random at this point. Just trying to figure out our curve, I suppose. Do we really want to be at like a control deck on 12 1-drops? I think Novice Inspector is better than the Callous Inspector because it's more... It enables the Viper a lot faster. And it's just better with our bargain requirement here. Maybe we go 2 Day of Judgment in the main. Two Callous Inspector. 3 Carrot Cake. I kind of like this, gang. A lot more raw card advantage. Not necessarily relying on... this is no longer turbo airship, right? But it keeps it as a solid like backup plan almost, where okay, the coast is clear. We're against a deck that has removal maybe, and we just need some way to really close out the game long term. Getting the airship online seems really easy in that way. One other thing I think we want to do is bump our land count to 24 now, because we're adding this card advantage, and play 4 Concealed Courtyards, which I believe I have, or maybe don't. Oh no, y'all. Well, I would definitely play that if I could. Maybe go down 1 Realm of Co. Try it like this. I like this. I don't think this is too crazy. I think we get to play 2 more swamps as well. And we'll just try it 2 Carrot Cakes to start, and then... one airship. I still think 2 airships make sense. And maybe we're not like a token deck, but we can accrue a lot of card advantage off of the talent. So maybe we just do 1, or sorry, we just do 2, and it's good when it's good. Little all over the place. I think it's okay to be a little all over the place when you're still like testing out a deck and seeing how the interactions work. I seem to recall a Reed Duke video from a long time ago where he just played in a Modern League in Jund with a deck full of 1-ofs. Just a singleton deck in Modern, just to see how things interact when they come up, you know? And I'm not going to ascertain that, or sorry, I'm not going to assert that this is a perfect deck yet by any means, so let's be real and you know, just admit that we're still testing some stuff out here, and that this is not going to be a perfect list. But I'd like to try this out with these changes, and I think once I get enough wild cards, I'm in the struggle. I'll probably pick it up soon enough, get these Concealed Courtyards, and then give this another test run. But if you made it this far in the video, thanks for watching. Once again, Eric, posting every day, or trying to, and coming at you with some hopefully interesting or cool or strong brews in Standard. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.